All right, so get this. We're diving deep into the crazy world of 2024 smartphones. You guys sent in a ton of reviews, and wow, some wild surprises this year.
Yeah, for sure. It's been pretty fascinating to watch, hasn't it? The whole smartphone scene is changing faster than ever.
Absolutely. We've got AI battles heating up, unexpected winners, and some, well, let's just say some companies didn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
To help us break it all down, we've got our tech expert here.
It's been a wild ride.
No kidding. Let's jump right in. Okay, first up, the big buzzword of the year, AI. Everyone's throwing that term around, but did it live up to the hype?
It depends, I guess. Apple, while they seem to be falling behind, especially in Europe, their whole Apple Intelligence thing feels like, I don't know, an afterthought almost.
Yeah, it's like they showed up late to the AI party. And Boss even called it too little, too late. Especially
Wow.
since they're like trying to add those features to last year's Pro models.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
It does seem like they're playing catch up while Google and Samsung were sprinting ahead.
Oh, totally.
Especially Google with their Pixel phones. The photography stuff is insane, like that zoom enhance feature.
Oh my gosh, yes. That thing is basically magic.
Right.
And don't even get me started on their Gemini live chat. Mind blown. Though I have to say, ChatGPT has really stepped up its game. What do you think? Has it maybe even surpassed Gemini?
Oh, that's a tough one. The chatbot competition is really heating up, that's for sure. But where Samsung really shines is the practical AI integration.
Oh, for sure.
Their features launched first, they're way more stable than a lot of the others, and they're actually things you'll use every day.
Like their live text translation feature. It's a game changer.
Yeah,
Especially when you're traveling.
absolutely.
But what I really want to know is, what does this AI dominance mean for Samsung in the long run?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? If developers start building apps specifically for Samsung's AI, it could be huge.
Huge, yeah.
Think about it. The best apps, but they only work perfectly on Samsung phones. That's a big incentive for consumers.
Whoa, yeah, like a whole new ecosystem, kind of like the VHS versus Betamax battle back in the day. But speaking of battles, let's talk foldable phones. We all remember that Google Pixel Fold from last year.
Not their best work.
No, not at all. Those bezels, the crease, the price. It felt like more of a prototype than a finished product.
Yeah, definitely. More like an experiment, maybe.
Totally. I remember watching those review videos and just cringing. But this year, they really redeemed themselves with the Pixel 99 Pro Fold.
Yeah.
They fixed almost everything, slimmed it down, made it faster, and it's actually a contender now.
Yeah, they really turned things around, which is great to see. They actually learned from their mistakes.
Yeah. But they weren't the only ones making waves in the foldable world.
That's for sure.
The Honor Magic V3 just came out of nowhere and blew everyone away.
Right.
Slim design, huge battery, stylus support, a periscope, zoom camera. They really went all out.
They did. And that's something we're seeing more of with brands like Honor and Vivo, pushing the limits even if they aren't available everywhere.
Yeah, that is a good point. Speaking of availability, let's talk about compact phones. Those of us who like a phone that actually fits in our pocket. The selection was a bit thin this year, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. We lost a real champion, the Asus phones. Top-tier specs and a pocket-friendly size.
Yeah.
Gone.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
What happened? They were doing so well.
It's probably market trends, you know? Most people go for affordability, and when you're working within a tight size, it's tough to offer everything people want at a price they'll pay.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the iPhone minis. Great phones, but...
Not enough people bought them.
Exactly.
Ugh, it's like practicality crushing all the cool stuff.
Mhm.
So who's stepping up to fill that compact phone void?
Well, the Samsung Galaxy S24 is all right, but the battery and camera are a bit meh for the price.
Yeah.
The Google Pixel 9 Pro, that's solid, good battery life, good cameras, but the Xiaomi 14, that's the star, I think. Maybe not the absolute tiniest phone, but close. And those cameras are insane. And the battery life is amazing for something that small.
I agree. But hold on. Why did Xiaomi release the 15 globally before the 14 even reached some markets?
Yeah.
It's like they're going backwards.
I know, right? Their release strategy is a bit of a head-scratcher sometimes.
Definitely.
Who knows what they're thinking. But hey, the 14 is a solid choice for anyone who wants a compact phone.
I'm with you on that. Although I'm not a huge fan of their HyperOS. It feels a bit too much like they're copying iOS, you know?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And only 4 years of software updates. Seriously.
Yeah, that is a bit weak compared to Samsung 7.
Come on, Xiaomi, step it up. But hey, let's move on to a category where power is king, battery life. Android 14 brought some much-needed improvements, and even Apple seemed to prioritize it this year with the iPhone 16s.
Yeah, for sure.
But neither of them can hold a candle to the Vivo X200 Pro, that 6,000 mAh battery. And the way they manage power is unreal. It's like they have some secret energy source.
It really is impressive. It makes you wonder, though, should Best of Awards consider how easy it is to get your hands on one? Is it really the best if most people can't even buy it?
That's a really good point. It's like saying, this amazing restaurant is the best in the world, but it's only open one day a year. What do you think?
I think availability should definitely be part of the conversation. We want to celebrate the best, but we also need to be realistic about what people can actually get.
Totally. Okay, let's talk about another power-hungry category, gaming. And this year, I think there's a clear winner.
Oh yeah, the Asus ROG Phone 9 Pro. It's basically a gaming console disguised as a phone.
Right. And that Snapdragon 8 Elite chip,
Yeah.
what even is that? Like, what makes it so much better than the regular 8?
It's all about the architecture and how they manufactured it. It's like they took the best engine and made it even more powerful and efficient. So for gamers, that means smoother graphics, faster processing speeds, and less lag.
So no more rage quitting because of lag.
Hopefully not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And they even made it look less, I don't know, gamery this time around.
Yeah, they definitely toned down the design, they improved the software, and even managed to fit in some surprisingly good cameras.
Wow. Are there any downsides?
Well, the speaker quality isn't as good as it used to be. They had to make some compromises to get those smaller bezels around the screen.
The never-ending battle between sound and visuals.
Exactly.
But honestly, for a gaming beast like this, I think it's a fair trade-off. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite category, cameras.
Oh yeah, this is always a good one.
So much competition this year. Apple and Samsung, as usual, battling it out for the top spot. The iPhone 16 Pro Max, it takes great photos, but
Yeah. It just doesn't have that wow factor, does it?
no, it's good, but not mind-blowing.
It feels like Apple played it safe this year.
I agree. And that's where the Vivo X200 Pro swooped in and stole the show. Again, I mean, it literally broke the Camera Award trophy.
Yeah, it's a testament to how far Vivo has pushed camera technology. That 200 MP zoom, the portrait mode, it's like they gave us a sneak peek into the future of phone photography.
It really is incredible. And you know what else is exciting? The budget and mid-range categories. We're seeing some real innovation these days.
Absolutely. The CMF Phone 1 was a surprise winner in the budget category. Decent specs, but the modular design, that's a game changer. You can literally customize your phone with different modules for photography, gaming, health tracking.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's like a phone that can evolve with your needs.
Exactly.
But the mid-range category was a real nail-biter. The Google Pixel 8a and the Nothing Phone 2 didn't stand a chance, but man, the OnePlus Nord 4 and the Xiaomi 14, that was a close one.
The OnePlus Nord 4 felt really premium and had a lot going for it, but the ultra-wide camera was a big letdown.
And no zoom capability. Come on.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me too.
Gotta have that zoom.
Absolutely. The Xiaomi 14, though, it just delivers. Great display, incredible battery life, charges super fast, and those camera specs, it beat the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE in almost every category.
Which is saying something. Xiaomi is really killing it in the mid-range market. Okay, time for the moment of truth, the biggest flop of the year. Last year we had the iPhone SE and the first Pixel Fold, but this year the award goes to.
Drum roll, please. The HMD Nokia Skyline.
Oh man, that phone was something else. The design, it looks like someone took a bite out of it.
I know, right?
And the cameras, they look good on paper, but the actual photos were a disaster. And only 2 years of software updates. Nokia, come on, you can do better than that.
It's sad to see a brand like Nokia fall so far.
All right, deep breaths, everyone. Time for the main event, the overall champions of 2024. We've got some serious contenders this year.
We do. The OnePlus 12, it's an amazing value. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, it's a beast when it comes to AI photography. And the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is no slouch either. That battery life is insane. And the new anti-reflective display is pretty slick.
Yes, Samsung really nailed the software this year. But let's be honest, the real MVP of 2024 is the Vivo X200 Pro. That phone is a beast in every sense of the word.
It really is. Speed, camera quality, battery life, it's got it all. It's just a shame it's so hard to find in some places.
I know. It's like the forbidden fruit of smartphones. But hey, if you can't get your hands on the Vivo, the Oppo Find X3 Pro is a great alternative. It's got a lot of the same DNA.
It does, yeah. The Oppo is definitely worth considering.
So we've seen the rise of AI, the comeback of foldable phones, and some seriously impressive devices across the board. What does it all mean for the future of the smartphone market?
That's the big question, isn't it? And one we'll explore further in part 2 of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
All right, so we're back and ready to unpack some of the bigger trends we're seeing in the smartphone world. Before the break, we were talking about how, the market is changing with all these new players coming in and challenging the big names.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how things are evolving. For years, it felt like the smartphone scene was kind of stuck, the same brands at the top year after year. But now, things are getting shaken up.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Right, and a lot of that fresh air is coming from brands like Vivo, Xiaomi, and Honor. They're not just releasing good phones, they're doing things differently.
Exactly. They're pushing the boundaries, especially in areas like cameras and battery life. Like, look at that Vivo X200 Pro. It pretty much swept the awards this year.
But it's still hard to get your hands on one, right?
Right.
At least if you don't live in certain parts of the world. It kind of makes you think, can a phone really be the best if most people can't even buy it?
That's the big question, isn't it? How do you balance celebrating innovation with, real-world accessibility?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I guess that's the challenge for these rising stars, figuring out how to go global without losing what makes them unique. But you know what else is interesting? They're not just competing on specs and features, they're also shaking up the whole ecosystem.
You mean with their own operating systems and app stores?
Exactly, like Xiaomi's HyperOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still feels a bit like iOS in some ways, but it's getting better with each update. And you've got brands like Huawei who are building out their own app ecosystems, even without Google services.
It's a bold move. It could lead to a much more fragmented smartphone landscape with different operating systems competing. Imagine a future where you're not just choosing between Android and iOS, but a whole bunch of different options.
Whoa, yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. It's exciting, but also a bit overwhelming. So many choices.
It definitely adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. But speaking of complexity, we can't forget about the other big thing that's shaping smartphones: AI.
Right. It's not just about voice assistants anymore. AI is woven into everything.
Exactly. We're seeing it enhance photos, optimize battery life, even personalize how we use our phones.
And the brands that really nail AI integration, those are the ones that will win in the long run.
Which brings us back to Samsung. They were early adopters of AI, and it seems to be paying off.
Definitely. They invested a lot in research and development, and they're not just adding AI features, they're building a whole ecosystem around it.
So it's like they're creating a phone that's not just smart, but actually intelligent. A phone that learns your habits, anticipates your needs, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's a very compelling idea for people who want a more personalized and seamless experience.
It is. But, okay, let's be real for a second. All this talk about AI and ecosystems and the future of smartphones is great, but at the end of the day, most people just want a phone that works.
Right, a phone that doesn't let you down.
Exactly. A phone that takes amazing photos, lasts all day, and doesn't slow down when you're trying to do a million things at once.
Those are the basics, and they're still the most important things for most people.
Absolutely. And the good news is there are more options than ever before at every price point. You don't have to spend a fortune to get a great phone these days.
Right. The lines between budget, mid-range, and flagship are blurring, which is great for consumers.
Totally. It's like technology is becoming more accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I like to think of it as the democratization of technology. More power to the people.
I love that. Okay, but while we're on the subject of trends, there's one we haven't touched on yet. Design.
Oh, right. Design is a big part of the experience, too. It's not just about how a phone works, but how it looks and feels in your hand.
Exactly. And this year, we saw a lot of different approaches, from the super minimal Google Pixel to the bold and futuristic Asus ROG Phone 9 Pro. Oh, and remember the comeback of leather.
Haha, yeah. Who knew vintage briefcases and luxury cars would be the inspiration for smartphones?
It's crazy. But, it kind of makes sense. People want phones that feel premium, something that feels good to hold.
Right. It's like a return to tactility. In a world of sleek glass slabs, that feeling of something real, something substantial, can be really appealing.
Like the difference between sending a text and writing a handwritten letter. This feels more personal.
Exactly. And I think that's something people are craving more and more, a sense of connection, of authenticity, something that goes beyond pure functionality.
So we've got brands pushing the boundaries of AI, others shaking up ecosystems, and still others focusing on design and craftsmanship. It's like the smartphone world is splitting into different factions, each with its own philosophy.
It's a fascinating time to be watching all of this unfold. And as consumers, we have more power than ever to choose devices that align with our values.
It's like we're in control of our own smartphone destinies. But before we get too philosophical, let's not forget about the practical stuff.
You mean like how much all this amazing tech is going to cost us?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but at the end of the day, budget is always a factor.
Thankfully, there's a phone for every budget. From the super affordable CMF Phone 1 to the, well, not so affordable iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Like a giant buffet of smartphones, and we get to choose what we want.
I love that analogy. And as we navigate this buffet of choices, it's important to remember that there's no one right answer. The best smartphone is the one that fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your preferences.
So true. But as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more thing we need to talk about, and it's a big one.
You mean the ethical side of all of this?
Exactly. We've spent a lot of time celebrating all the amazing things smartphones can do, but it's time to face the less glamorous side of this technology. All those shiny new features come with a cost, and it's a cost we need to talk about.
You're absolutely right. It's a conversation we need to have.
After the break, we'll dive into the darker side of smartphones. Data privacy, digital well-being, the environmental impact of our constant desire for the newest devices. It's time to face the music. All right, so we're back, and it's time to, get a little more serious. We've been talking about all the amazing things smartphones can do, but let's be real, they're not all sunshine and rainbows.
You're right. There's definitely a darker side to all this tech. Every app we download, every photo we take, it all comes at a cost that, we don't always think about.
Exactly. So let's talk about those costs. What are some of the, ethical concerns surrounding smartphones? I'm guessing data privacy is a big one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Data privacy is a huge issue. Every time we use our phones, we're creating a massive trail of data. Where we go, what we search for, who we talk to, what we buy. Even our fingerprints and facial expressions and all that data, it's incredibly valuable to companies. They want to understand us, target us with ads, maybe even influence our decisions.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it. We're walking around with this digital shadow, and every move we make is being tracked.
It can be a bit unsettling, and while, some data collection might seem harmless, even helpful sometimes, it raises some serious questions. Who owns that data? How's it being used? What protections are in place?
Yeah, it's like a constant battle between convenience and control. We want our phones to make our lives easier, but we also want to feel like we're in charge of our own information.
Absolutely. And it's not just about data privacy either. There's also the issue of, digital well-being.
Right. All those notifications, the endless scrolling, the fear of missing out, it can really mess with your head.
It can be a real struggle. It's important to be mindful, Set boundaries, create some tech-free zones, and remember to prioritize those real-life connections.
It's like we need a digital detox every now and then. But speaking of detox, there's another cost we haven't talked about. The environmental impact of all this.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. The production, the consumption, the disposal of smartphones, it all takes a toll on the environment. Mining for those rare earth minerals, manufacturing processes, the energy needed to power and charge all these devices, it adds up.
And we're constantly being told to upgrade, even when our old phones work perfectly fine. It's like we're trapped in this cycle of consumption that's bad for our wallets and the planet.
Yeah, it's a problem. A lot of it has to do with something called planned obsolescence. Companies design products to become obsolete or outdated after a certain amount of time.
So basically, they're intentionally making our phones break down or slow down so we'll buy new ones.
It's a controversial practice, but it's definitely happening. And as consumers, we have a responsibility to push back, demand more durable, repairable devices, support companies that are making an effort to be more sustainable.
And be more mindful of our own consumption habits. Maybe we don't need to upgrade every year. Maybe we can, find ways to make our phones last longer.
Exactly. Maybe we can learn to be content with what we have instead of always chasing the newest thing.
It's a good thought. So we've got data privacy, digital well-being, the environmental impact. It feels like there's a lot to consider.
There is, but it's not about demonizing technology. It's about using it wisely, ethically, being aware of its impact on us and the world around us.
It's about finding that balance, right? Where technology enhances our lives without compromising our values.
Exactly. And it's a journey we're all on together. As technology keeps evolving, we have the power to shape its future.
We can demand better data privacy, prioritize our well-being, and support companies that are doing things the right way.
Absolutely. Technology should serve humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. Well, folks, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of smartphones for this year. We've covered a lot, from the latest tech to some of the bigger issues surrounding this stuff.
Hopefully you learned something new or at least had something to think about.
It's been a pleasure exploring these topics with you. And remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Keep researching, keep asking questions, and keep engaging with technology in a way that feels right for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive, everyone. Until next time, stay curious.